All right, y'all, got a pretty unfortunate story to share with you here. This is in The Intercept. Biden moves ahead on Trump plan to build Israel embassy on stolen Palestinian land. Wow. Objections from the land's rightful owners, including U.S. citizens, are going unacknowledged by the administration. All right, so here's what they say. Nearly 5 years after President Donald Trump broke with decades of U.S. policy and international consensus to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and move the U.S. embassy there, the Biden administration is moving ahead with plans to build a permanent embassy compound in the city. Israel's government has its headquarters in Jerusalem, but because Palestinians also claim the city as their capital and because the city's status remains disputed under international law, the U.S. embassy, like those of most other countries, was previously based in Tel Aviv. The plans for a new embassy, which the administration has quietly advanced in recent weeks, would consolidate Trump's abrupt policy reversal and violate U.S. precedent both on the status of Jerusalem and on Israel's ongoing illegal appropriation of Palestinian land. The new embassy would also make the U.S. government an active participant in that appropriation. The planned compound is to be built on land illegally expropriated from Palestinians, whose descendants, including several U.S. citizens, still have a claim to. Quote, the descendants of the landowners are all entitled to these properties under international law. Suhad Bishara, legal director of the Israel-based human rights group Adalah, told The Intercept, by moving forward with the plan to build the embassy at the Allenby site, the U.S. are taking an active part in the illegal confiscation of these properties, including infringing on their own citizens' rights. According to plans submitted by the U.S. State Department to Israeli authorities, the diplomatic compound would be built on a grassy plot known as the Allenby Barracks. After a former British military camp that the British leased from Palestinian families, the land is now registered to the state of Israel and leased to the U.S. after it was confiscated from Palestinian refugees under Israel's 1950 absentees property law, widely condemned legislation that has enabled Israel to claim ownership over the land of countless Palestinians it displaced. Quote, this land was illegally confiscated, Bishara said, adding that absentees property laws were racially designed to confiscate Palestinian property for the benefit of Israel and its Judaization process in the area. In a statement sent to The Intercept after this article was published, Rachel Rubin, a spokesperson for the State Department, said, quote, the United States has not yet made a decision on which site to pursue. A number of factors, including the history of the sites, will be part of our site selection process. Rubin confirmed that the Biden administration would uphold Trump's embassy move. Quote, the U.S. position is that our embassy will remain in Jerusalem, which we recognize as Israel's capital. And then you can see they have a little map here. Look, this is one of those areas where they're the same, right? Now, I don't know. If Biden was president, would he have actively made the decision? That's a tougher one. I tend to doubt it. A lot of people don't know the specifics of this, but this was reported actually pretty recently. We covered the story. Donald Trump effectively sold his foreign policy to the highest bidder. And in the case of Israel, Sheldon Adelson was running that policy. And it's an astounding fact. It's as deeply corrupt as it gets. But that's what happened. And so a lot of decisions Trump was making regarding Israel were directly from Sheldon Adelson. And so that's what led to this decision. Trump just sat idly by while this guy who he sold Israel policy to made this incredible decision, made this illegal decision. And so I don't know if Biden would have made the decision in the first place, but now that it's already been made, he's going right along with the bipartisan consensus because nobody really bucks Israel. Nobody fights back against Israel. And this is something Ilhan Omar got roasted for saying, but she was factually correct when she said the Israel lobby is very powerful. Remember, she said it's all about the Benjamins and people pretended like she was being anti-Semitic. No, the point she was making is not even controversial. The point she's making is the Israel lobby has a lot of money and they give it to politicians in both parties, and then those politicians turn around and do the bidding of the Israel lobby. Now, that's not anti-Semitic. That is factual in the same way it's factual to say that the Saudi lobby is impacting our politics, and that's not Islamophobic to say. It's a factual thing to say. When you throw around millions of dollars and buy politicians, turns out they're going to do your bidding for you. And that's what happened. And now here's Biden unwilling to stand up to the Republicans overreaching and just keeping with U.S. tradition of screwing Palestinians. This kind of reminds me, the best we got in recent history was when Obama was leaving office. Do you guys remember this? There was a vote at the UN to condemn Israel's, annexation of territory illegally. And the best we got under Obama and Biden was abstaining from the vote. So they wouldn't even vote like, yes, this is illegal annexation and we condemn it. They abstained. And even that led to, a media firestorm where people were going after Obama saying he's, anti-Israeli and, this was the wrong move. That's the strongest we got. There was a great story. I forget the details of it, but I think it was Zed Jelani who reported on the last president to stand up to Israel was actually George H.W. Bush. And he gets into the specifics of it and how he snubbed them. And he was like, fuck you, you can't do this. But basically, since then, every U.S. president does whatever Israel wants. And make no mistake about it, this is going to lead to more turmoil. This is going to lead to more fighting. And bottom line, it's deeply disrespectful and wrong against the Palestinians. They're having their land stolen, and that's now being verified by the Democratic administration. So just really stunning and grotesque, and yet another area where Biden goes along with the status quo, goes along with conventional wisdom, screws over Palestinians, and doesn't think twice about it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.